Well, heard a very smart guy say by the time the dust settled this year that Barack Obama's Senate seat, Joe Biden's Senate seat, and
Ted Kennedy's
Senate seat would all be in Republican hands. And I'll bet our next guest agrees with that. Our next guest is Patrick Hughes. And he's running for Obama's seat in the United States Senate, and he's a lawyer, a businessman, home building, real estate development, and he's running a hard race in a Republican primary against Representative Mark Kirk. Patrick, glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Jerry. How are you guys doing?
We're good. I have two things to say. Fred forgot one important word, conservative, and the other thing is you went to the wrong DePaul. I went to the one in Indiana.
Oh, I went to DePaul. Yeah, well, it is wrong. I'm running. I'm a conservative running against Mark Kirk, who's actually very liberal, cap and trade against the surge, and socially liberal beyond many, many, many Democrats. So it's a battle here in Illinois if we're going to put a conservative in Obama's seat or an establishment left-wing Washington Republican Mark Kirk.
Well, you are a good, strong conservative, no question about that. And apparently, you just decided for the first time in your life that you were going to get off the sidelines and run this time. You've taken on a Senate seat for your first try for office. You know, that brings to mind somebody else near and dear to my heart. Me.
Do you have a truck, sir?
It's actually one of those big Yukon sport utilities, so we can carry signs in the back. But we do have a truck, and I did get off the sidelines to do it because my wife was tired of me yelling at the radio and the television, and I have to tell you that the Obama administration taking our country massively in the wrong direction, growing the government in ways, well, you guys know, we've never seen before. And then in my state, my Republican Party here is broken. They're trying to push an establishment pick who is not even remotely a conservative. He's a rhino in the most specific sense, and no one would run against him. And so I said I would, and we have picked up tremendous support from across the country, Tea Party groups, 912 groups, all sorts of county chairs and township people in my state, and they want to put a conservative in Barack Obama's Senate seat, and the momentum is building. We're catching up to Mark every single day, and certainly being able to be on this show and others to get out our message is great, so I really appreciate it.
What was your primary motivation in running for the Senate, Patrick? What concerns you most about the direction of this country?
You know, Senator, it's the size of government, the size and scope of government, and the burden on the American family and the American taxpayer. I'm a small businessman and a family man, and I'm concerned that I'm not going to be able to operate my business with regulatory schemes like the health care bill, like cap and trade, and I'm concerned that my three beautiful children are going to be saddled with debt for not just their lives, but for the lives of their children and their grandchildren. And that's very concerning to me, and I think the government's grown so fast in the last year that's what I want to do when I get to Washington, work against the system to try to lessen the impact of government on our lives, lower taxes, lower the burdens on the American family and the American business person. If we do that, we'll see economic growth. The policies of the Obama administration have done the exact opposite. I've never seen a group of folks do the exact wrong thing time and again in an economic crisis, and that's what they've done. Stimulus, bailouts, cap and trade, the health care debacle. We need sanity, fiscal sanity in our government. And we need to stop the establishment from Washington of picking who our candidates are going to be for us. Let the folks decide. I mean, you saw what happened with Scott Brown. People from all over the country helped him, and that's what we're trying to get to have happen here.
Yeah. What's your main beef with Mark Kirk? You mentioned a couple of things, but you have taken issue with him on gun rights and the surge in Iraq and a host of other things too, haven't you?
I have a lot of beefs with him, Senator. The first one and the most important one is his vote for cap and trade, which in my state, an industrial Midwest manufacturing agricultural state at 11% unemployment, will wipe us out. But he also voted against the surge. He's not just pro-choice. He's for partial birth abortion. I'm pro-life. He gets an F from the NRA, a 0 from Gun Owners of America. Last week I was endorsed by Gun Owners of America. He co-sponsors hate crime laws and then lets Nancy Pelosi attach them to pass to defense appropriation bills. This is a guy who's a very left-wing Republican. He would be the next Specter or Snow in the Senate. He's Nancy Pelosi's favorite Republican congressman, and that's my beef with him. I'm a Republican. I'm a Reagan conservative. I'm a Thompson conservative, and those are the values that are going to make our country great again, not what Mark Kirk is offering, and that's the choice that I'm giving voters in Illinois.
Well, what is your pitch in terms of electability in November, Patrick? Why do you think that you'd be in a good, strong position to win the general election?
A couple of reasons. The last Republican senator to be elected in my state was Peter Fitzgerald. And Peter, as you know, Senator, was a fiscal and social conservative. You need the base of support in my state to win. And now, more than ever, the Democrats have put the folks in this state in a hole. And this is a time to reach out to independents and good government Democrats with new voices that can actually bring reform. And I think Democrats and independents in my state are tired of the bill of goods the Democrats have sold them. We've seen what happened in Virginia with Bob McDonnell and the independents. We've seen what's happened with independents in Massachusetts. That can happen here in Illinois, but only if a new voice who's only beholden to the people and not to special interests, who's not of Washington, that's the only voice that can win the general election. Mark Kirk will lose the base of support. He's losing it to me every minute of this day and tomorrow and the next day, and it'll continue to be that way because he doesn't represent the values of the base of the party. You have to have the base. Reach out to independents, good government Democrats. That's the coalition that Fitzgerald built, that I will rebuild. And now more than ever is the opportunity to do that. This is a generational election in my state, and if we do it right, we'll put a conservative in Obama's Senate seat and change the direction of my state and a lot of the Midwestern states for years to come in presidential elections. That's why this is so critical.
It is quite an opportunity because people in Illinois, all right-thinking people, have got to be totally disgusted with the Democratic leadership that they have had there and what it's produced for the state. Patrick, finally, just got about a minute here. Obama's conducting of the war on terror. What do you think about it?
I don't like it at all. The way he waited on Afghanistan was just unbelievably bad. And then when he made his decision, he didn't give the general what he asked for, and he threw a bone to the left-wing base by putting a timetable. We cannot put a timetable on the war with al-Qaeda and the Taliban. We have to let them know that we're never going to give up the fight. And coming off the surge where General Petraeus and General McChrystal, we should be listening to these guys. We had a successful surge in Iraq that my opponent, Mark Kirk, voted against, and I think for political reasons. We should be listening to our generals in the field, particularly now because of their successes. So his handling has been terrible. It's the typical situation where you put an anti-war left-wing Democrat in charge of our national security, and I fear for that. And that's why we need to take our country back for our national security and for our economic security.
Completely appreciate so much what you're doing to stand up. What can people do across the country if they want to help you raise a little money? Where do they go?
Thank you for asking, Jory. PatrickHughesForSenate.com. PatrickHughesForSenate.com. People are donating from all over the country. Today's our big money bomb. If we could get folks involved from all over the country, we're going to get this done on February 2nd, and then we're going to put a conservative in Obama's Senate seat on November 2nd, 2010.
Patrick Hughes, good luck. Strong conservative voice. Thank you for being with us.